Thank you so much, our host, Morara. And I think let me try and be on the two on the 2 minutes that you've given. Though I had a couple of questions for Morara. First of all, I was your biggest supporter when you began. I'm audible when you began, and I think we started very well. Until at some point some people felt like we were losing touch. First, I'll go direct. I'll go first to my first question, which is to the Inject Party, a party that we thought, or a party we really liked, na tulikuwa tunataka kama tungekuwa involved, but at some point we felt that some of us were left out, especially those whom we started the movement with. Okay, my first question is, does the registrar of political party in Kenya know has the knowledge and the existence of this party? And if so, kindly can you tell? My second question, sorry, that was a call that interrupted me. My second question is on accountability and transparency. And Morara, you know very well that this nation in crisis. It is in crisis. It is in the hands of people who have gotten away with issues to do with integrity, accountability, transparency, and they have never been held accountable. And that is the governance issues that we are trying to fix. As a person who has come out, and as a person who has been so passionate exposing so many ills of this government, bearing in mind at some point Kenyans, there are Kenyans who were questioning your accountability and demanded also transparency on every coin that they sent to you, or they sent to your on your engagement, on the assignment that you are so passionate exposing. What have you done in that front? What accountability have you shown? What is the transparency that Inject Party has brought forward to Kenyans? My last question is on resource mobilization, and I've heard you say that we need to take this battlefront elsewhere, out of social media. We have spent too much time on social media. We need to go outside. And I would want to remind you, Morara, that we are dealing with an administration. It's also a question, but I'll wait for your answer. We are dealing with an administration that some of us, it has abducted us, it has killed friends that we all know, and there are people who are very passionate, wanataka kujitokeza huku nje, but wewe unajua already wewe, the system cannot go for you, it can't go for you. And there are Kenyans who are very much concerned. Are you pro or anti? Because there is also a narrative that is about to play in Kenyan politics. Kuna wale watu ambao watakuwa na sisi, lakini actually they are not part of us. How do you deconstruct this, Morara? How do you, especially now that you are even aligning yourself with a group that we once castigated, especially shed a light on your involvement with somebody like Rigathi Gachagua? Are you saying that the enemy of your friend, I don't know how it is put, but unajaribu kusema ya kwamba adui, tuko na common enemy? Can we come together? Is that what you're trying to tell Kenyans? That we can put aside the constitution, we can put aside integrity matters, and at this particular time tackle an enemy called William Ruto? Is that the reason why it made you join Gachagua? Because there were reports earlier that had said that you are a puppet to Gachagua, and it is Gachagua who is funding you. How do you address that? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your questions, although you've taken 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but it's okay. I understand. So let's go to the first question. The first question was about whether Inject Party is registered. Now, registration is a process. It's a process that begins with the name reservation for 90 days. After name reservation for 90 days, you go through now the steps of doing the party constitution. After the party constitution, you present the list of officials. After presenting the list of officials, you do your first interview with the registrar, then you get your provisional certificate. After you get your provisional certificate, you start voter registration and you open 24 offices in at least 24 counties in Kenya. After you open the 24 offices, you're supposed to pay a fee of 500,000, which has actually been discounted for the youth to 100,000. Then now you get your final registration. So we are somewhere in the middle of the process towards the end. We've done majority part of it. We did the name reservation. We did the list of officials. We did the constitution. We are identifying officers now. So this is an ongoing. It's a going concern. So it's not something that you just wake up one day, go to the registrar, register, and leave. Once you decide to register a political party, let's say today is when? Today is 6th of March. The earliest you can register could easily be by September or maybe by June. So it is a very long process and tedious, as you know. Let's go to the second issue. The second issue is on accountability. How do we account for funds? Now, it's good to acknowledge what these funds were meant for and how they were used. There is a time we fundraised for furniture. And if you go to my tweet dated 5th of September 2024, you'll find a video of the furniture that we bought with what we raised. There's a time we raised money for a speaker, public address system. If you go to my tweets again, you'll find the evidence that we actually bought it. We fundraised for fuel. If you go to my tweet dated 13th of November 2024, it is titled Accountability Report for Fuel for 2 weeks from 30th October to 13th November. The summary says estimated kilometers covered is 2,365 times a liter of petrol was 180 then. We have written the average consumption. Then we did the total cost of fuel, which came to 154,800. Then we've done a whole list of the trips we made. We did Kahawa Skari to Kinka, which was 14 kilometers. So at Kinka, we checked the Kinka Airways Road. Then from Kinka to Kinyui Matungulu, that was 48 kilometers covered. In Kinyui, we went to take the Kinyui Stadium where 49 million was lost. From Kinyui, we went to Masi, which was 44 kilometers. We went to see the Masi Stadium, which was allocated 50 million. From Masi back to Nairobi. So that's a day complete. Then we did Nairobi to Mavoko, which was 29 kilometers. Went to see the Mavoko Stadium, then came back Mavoko to Nairobi. Mavoko is just here in Earth River. Then now, the third day, we did Nairobi to Emali, which was 124 kilometers. You remember Emali, we checked the fence where this governor for Kajiado is called that one huyo alikula 29 million ya fence, and there was also the project ya Tarda ya water pan. So from Emali we did 87 kilometers to Kimana. From Kimana we went to Oloitoktok, which was 17 kilometers, and Oloitoktok to Ilasit, which was 8.6 kilometers. Ilasit is where we did the Ilasit Rombo Road. You remember we did a rally, a civic education rally in Oloitoktok. Then we did Oloitoktok to Rombo, which is 27 kilometers. Rombo, we checked the Rombo tomato processing plant, which was worth 427 million. It was being done by the Wasonyiro South Development Authority. So you'll see, if you go there, you'll see from From Rombo, we went to Oloitoktok, to Taveta, to Mata, to Voi, to Mwatate, to Mtomwagodi, Wundanyi, Ngerenyi, Voi, Mombasa, Kombani, Kwale, Marere, Shimba Golini, Ukunda, Msambweni, and all that. It's all there. If you go again to 1st of February 2025, you see I've posted receipts za fuel za petrol station for the fuel that we did. So I've made a very, very serious attempt to keep informing the public on how their money is spent. The problem is I am one man trying to explain the accountability of Inject, and Itumbi has 30 bloggers, each with 10 accounts. In total, these are 300 people on X. So, as one man says that we are accountable, there are 300 X accounts that says we are not. So sometimes on X, it becomes very difficult to fight with state machinery. And even if you, as Gian Wahome, were in my position of leadership, I believe you'd also have a very hard time because you would be fought by government. Remember, government is scared of young people. Government is not scared of these old politicians. Is not scared of them because somehow Ruto feels overconfident that there is something he can do to them. Amewazoea, anajua vile anawapanga. But these young people like myself who are coming up, who are energetic, who are so, you know, so serious about this, who are fearless, the government is really scared about us. And because they are scared, for every post I make, most of those comments that you see are from fake accounts. Those are not real people. Some of those profile pictures are AI generated. So it's very easy then the government to create a narrative that you are unaccountable, you cannot be trusted as a person of integrity. And it becomes very difficult to fight with those allegations, especially when you don't have enough money to hire bloggers the way Itumbi has money to hire bloggers. So I believe that is an imbalance created by money, because since the government controls the resources na vijana hawana job, it's very easy kuingia kampo uchukue vijana 20 wapedo waran narrative online. Let's come to the issue of me being seen with Gachagua. Now, I have not said I've changed my values and principles because I met Gachagua. Now, politics and leadership is such a nasty business that sometimes you have to meet with the people that you do not agree with, especially if they have influence on a group of people that you're trying to reach. Now, the people of Mount Kenya have propped up Honorable Rigathi Gachagua as their leader. Do they know these things that you're saying? Yes, they do. Do they have a problem with it? No, they don't care. So then the question is, who is the problem? Is it Morara Kebaso who is associating with Gachagua so that we can form a united front against Ruto? Or is it the Kenyan people who are ready to support maybe Gachagua or any other leader that you disagree with? Now, personally, after I've been attacked on social media and made a beggar and made a conman, I've come to realize that sometimes a false thing can be said about you, and if it is said many times enough and repeated enough, people can believe it. And when they believe it, you become exactly that thing. For example, watu wakirudia rudia kwamba Raila ni mganga, Raila ni mganga, Raila ni mganga. Even if he is not, you become that because these people create a perception about you. So then it's not easy in terms of politics to fight perception. So it may be true that some of the things we know about other leaders or some leaders, some of them are even false. And some of the scandals we attach to certain people may not even be true, but may be attached to other leaders or other brokers or power brokers. Now, I'm not here to speak on behalf of Gachagua or any leader. I think everybody should be accountable for their own actions. Everybody should be able to choose what kind of leader they want to be. Do you want to be a leader of integrity or not? It's not a communal choice. We cannot choose sisi wote as a team ati hatuwezi kuwa corrupt. No. We have to first choose individually. You yourself, are you satisfied with what God has given you? Are you satisfied with the wealth that your God has given you? If you are satisfied, then together we make a team of satisfied people. But if there is one of us who is corrupt, he'll hide amongst us and will still end up being corrupt. So even as I work with other leaders towards forming a joint team or a joint force against William Ruto, I'm conscious of the fact that there are leaders that we work with that may not hold the same values that we hold. But what do? We are forced into this situation because of the nature of how the nation is. Right now, the nation is in a point of desperation. It means at this point in time, you need everybody on board because William Ruto will prey on our divisions and say hawa hata hawaelewani, they are moral cops. Huyu anaambia huyu you are gay, na huyu anaambia huyu we you are corrupt, na huyu anaambia huyu we you are this, you are that. Every human being has their own faults. We should not focus on our faults. Let's focus on our strengths. Deal with the first problem, which is William Ruto, then deal with the second problem. That is how I see it from my point of view, but you can also look at it from your other point of view. I'm not validating any leader. I'm not saying, oh, now since I've joined so and so, you can trust them. They are as clean as, snow. No, let every leader be accountable for their own actions. Let every leader answer for themselves on what is their role in anything that the Kenyan people accuse them of. Let them set themselves free. But otherwise, in terms of working together to build a new Kenya that we want, we would have to work together. And since I receive a lot of donations from people, sometimes I'm not even able to know who is donating to me. And you can relate this situation to me meeting Gachagua. The people who donate to me, I don't know whether they've stolen the money. I don't know whether they worship the same God that I worship. Maybe they are even devil worshippers and they are sending me fuel to go and do vampire diaries. Yet personally, I worship and fear God. So I'm not able to moral police every single person. Remember, in this space today, right now we have about 215 people listening. In this 215, it's not everybody that's a good person. Amongst us here, we have thieves. Amongst us here, we have people who sell their nudes on OnlyFans. Amongst us here, we have all manner of people. And you see, if you begin judging every single person, then you end up with nobody. So we should begin with our sharpest contradiction as we converge towards our shared values as a nation. Criminal liability for corruption is individual liability. I can be accountable for my own actions, and there are no actions to account for because I've never held public office. But all these other leaders, if there is something they did, let them be individually accountable. And even if I was to become president of this country, that is a position I would take. That yes, we've walked this journey together as leaders, but if there is something called corruption that you did, be accountable personally and individually. It's not a communal thing. We don't carry the burden with you. When Morara joins you, works with you, or does politics with you, he doesn't carry your problems. If you are a person who beats up your wife, or you are a person who looks down upon women, or you do this, I am not going to carry your bad behavior as my burden. We're just going to work together towards a common goal. But otherwise, we understand each other that we were not raised by the same mother, and therefore we don't have to act and behave the same. Let me not say too much. Gian, have I answered your question or I've left you with more questions?
Thank you, Morara. You have answered part of my many questions. And as also an aspiring leader, I want to wish you all the best. And as you have said, you've really spoken my mind. And at this particular juncture where we find ourselves as a nation, I would also want to make the same appeal to the people. This particular time, hakuna haja ya kushinda tumejudge watu. If we all agree as a nation that our enemy is one, and our enemy is William Ruto with his buddies who are entrenching impunity, then we have to come together kama amekosana na wezi wengine na hao wezi wengine wameamua kukuja huku, like you have rightly put it, at some point accountability issues, everybody will be held. Yeye mwenyewe personally, for that statement I really hold you highly, and I want to wish you the best. I also want you to wish me the best as I try to capture the Embakasi, as I try my luck in Embakasi East Member of Parliament. Otherwise, from my end, mimi nakutakia mema. I would have wished to be part of the inject party, na nilikuwa nimeanza mapema na wewe, maybe pengine hatujuani, lakini Mungu atatusaidia kwa hii barabara. Let us not forget that our fellow comrades died on the street fighting this system. Let us not be diluted by the politics of the day. Let our focus be on forming a new and a transparent Kenya. That is all we appeal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best as you try to capture Embakasi East. Nothing is impossible. Go out there, conquer it for us. We trust you, we believe in you, and we will support you in anything that you need, Asante. All right. So, sorry, that took longer, but I knew that other people that will come up will want to ask the same question, and I'll have to answer the same question. So now that I've answered it, I hope nobody else is coming up to ask the same question, unless maybe there's an aspect of that question that we didn't answer. The reason I took long to answer it is so that we don't repeat it again in our conversation.